Alright, so I finally finished watching Demon Slayer on Netflix, which I know at this point feels like saying, hey guys, I tried water. But listen, I loved it. I loved it the whole way through. Like, the animation was beautiful. The insane commitment to particle effects alone had to destroy like 3 rendering CPUs. Characters were fun, the action was awesome, and something about Tanjiro's determination to keep going no matter what hit the same spiritually overclocked nerve of strength and growth that Goku's training arcs back in the day used to hit when I was 12 and thinking that I too could become Super Saiyan if I just trained hard enough in the gym. And then the pacing was something else. Like, it almost felt illegal. Like, every time an episode ended, I had this instinctive reaction like, wait. There is no way we're killing the main villain of this arc. I just met the guy. Like, I don't even know his LinkedIn skills yet. But then again, there is something refreshing about an anime that doesn't trap you in a 900 episode hostage situation where the filler arcs are so padded out it feels like they're airing a mattress commercial. Demon Slayer is like the anti-One Piece. It pulls up, does its job, cries a little, maybe stabs a demon, and then leaves. And you're like, wait, we're done here? No beach episode? No 3-week detour of a character's tragic backstory that involves a talking fish? Insane. So as I finished season 5, now leading up into the first movie of a trilogy of movies, which I still haven't seen the first movie, so please no spoilers, I realized 2 things from my watch. 1, this anime was an incredibly fun ride, harnessing all the action-adventure elements of the shonen stories I loved growing up with. Primarily Bleach. It reminded me a ton of Bleach. And 2, oh my god, this thing just zoomed by me like a drag racer. I'm enjoying the ride, but I'm also checking my pockets like, wait, did I miss anything? Are we supposed to be on here longer? Are we on the right schedule? Which kind of sent me spiraling about this bigger realization about the show. Demon Slayer has this very deliberate, very specific approach to pacing that is way different than any of the anime that I grew up on. Because the anime I grew up on, jeez, I mean, it took forever to get anything done. Characters would power up for so long, I could go out, get some errands done, maybe grab a snack and come back, and the character, he's still screaming. Meanwhile, Demon Slayer is like, no beach episodes, no filler, no time for introspection. Here's a demon, here's emotional rehabilitation, here's a sword, now run. And that's what got me thinking, is Demon Slayer too short? Is it the perfect modern anime for people with the attention span of a hamster and the emotional capacity of a Victorian widow? Or is it just a different kind of storytelling? One that hits fast, hits hard, and doesn't look back? Because you have to understand that anime lengths in general are fucking insane. Some series are long because they're epics, and some series are long because the studios are desperately waiting for the manga to catch up. And some series are long because the authors realize that they could buy a beachfront property if they just never stopped writing. And right away, Demon Slayer stands out because it doesn't play any of those games. From the beginning, it paces itself like a show that's on a timer. Like the director has a fantasy football draft in 20 minutes, so he's trying to wrap up Tanjiro's entire hero's journey before someone steals his sleeper pick. You meet a demon, you hear their tragic backstory before you even know their name, Tanjiro tosses them some empathetic tears like he's their HR representative, and then boom, you're done with that arc, on to the next, rinse and repeat. I'm used to a shonen where the villain shows up, monologues for 3 weeks, powers up like he's buffering, and then he's finally ready to fight after 2 presidential terms. And while I love a good slow burn, I don't need 18 episodes of someone training in the woods to prove they're serious. Demon Slayer actually feels like the child of 2 generations, raised on an old anime structure but evolved for the modern attention spans. It respects your time almost too much. I mean, it's the first time I've watched an anime and I was like, oh, we're speed running this. And yes, apparently the manga was already lean, but I feel like the anime trims it down even more. Because sometimes it genuinely feels like this show was allergic to downtime. No filler, no breaks, no let's explore character dynamics. Just clean kills and beautiful water animations. But season 2 was the first time I really clocked the pacing just hitting me in the face. And I blame the opening more or less for spoiling the entire goddamn season. Like it really showed like everything that's gonna happen in season 2. And also just gave me an immediate insight to how breakneck the speed was going to be. Like before I even knew who Rengoku was, the fire dude with the crazy yellow hair, I saw how in the opening Tanjiro like reaches out for him in the darkness while the dude's fighting someone like in the flames, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, so that dude's totally going to die for sure. Which is interesting because like anime doesn't do that. They don't introduce an insanely strong and an insanely important dude just to wrap up his entire arc before you even fully processed who he is. That's like Qui-Gon Jinn levels of compression. And I'm not saying that it feels sloppy. It was very much intentional. It was like the show saying, yes, we're doing this now, no hesitations. It was the moment where Demon Slayer told me, this ain't your daddy's anime where we're gonna wait 3 seasons for a single payoff. We are hitting emotional beats immediately. We do not slow down. And weirdly, I respect the hell out of it. It's like the pacing equivalent of someone being brutally honest. It might be fast, it might be jarring, but it was real. Like Rengoku's death hits hard, but I was also only given 15 minutes to know who he was before I was expected to grieve. But at the same time, I mean, how much more did we really need to see of him before he starts to overstay his welcome? His inclusion did do everything that he kind of needed to do. It established the power that one could achieve as a Hashira, and inspire Tanjiro to just keep growing and training, and also just give some emotional stakes for Tanjiro to not just get stronger for Nezuko, but to avenge Rengoku as well. But a warrior as strong as the Fire Hashira can't get taken down by some average, measly demon. He needs to be defeated by the top, the cream of the crop demons. And meeting the third strongest demon in the entire ranks of all the bad guys, in season 2 no less. It's just another foreshadow of how Demon Slayer's pacing was just itching to get through all the baddies lickety-split. I mean, it's not some newfound trope that's never been seen before. Strong enemies have always appeared early on in anime series to give the protagonist a dose of reality of just how weak they actually are at their current level. But as time and arcs go on, we eventually see the protagonist reunite with their long-forgotten hulk of an enemy to actually give the dude a battling worth battling. A challenge worth fighting for. That's just Mulan. Just give the dude a challenge in battle. Just fight. They're just fighting. In Demon Slayer's first season, Tanjiro's enemies were mostly just average run-of-the-mill demons that were still intimidating, and it still took him everything in his power to overcome and defeat. But then, not long after that, do we start to learn about some really interesting power scales between the heroes and villains. Lower moons and upper moons for the demons, and then the Hashira as the top Demon Slayer rank. What are the other Demon Slayer ranks, you may ask? Good fucking question. Because we don't touch or explore them at all, like the entire series. Even with Tanjiro starting at the bottom, now we're here, I thought we would see him rise through the ranks and learn all sorts of skills and tactics to sharpen his edge until he's actually true Hashira material. But nope. You only have like 10 seconds to understand where everyone fits in this hierarchy before someone explodes into a watercolor fireball. That's kind of where the show cracks me up, because it's like, we established these insanely strong demons and insanely strong Hashira. So you think, okay, cool, we're gonna take our time, we're gonna build up the tension, we're gonna get to know everyone. And Demon Slayer goes, I'm gonna say psych right now, and folds entire arcs into tight little balls of emotion and combat. Because let's be real, other anime would have stretched those lower ranked demons through entire arcs, but Demon Slayer treats them like tragic side quests that Tanjiro completes before breakfast. In the blink of an eye, all the enemies are just upper moons only. Only the strongest ranked demons will be dealt for the remainder of the series. The weaker demons, they aren't even worth animating. It's like the show decided, yeah, we tried scaling slowly. Didn't like it. We're skipping the final boss difficulty now. Like, it feels like the show has zero interest in dragging anything out. Instead of treating power levels like a mountain, it's treating them like speed bumps. Tiny obstacles you just blast over because you got a bigger fight to animate in the next episode. And it only works because Demon Slayer sells spectacle. Like, the power levels exist purely as stylistic thematic set pieces. The show cares less about hierarchy and more about giving Tanjiro something horrifying to negotiate with while he's doing parkour. And this is where the pacing becomes its own philosophy, because Demon Slayer doesn't linger, it doesn't slow down, it doesn't pretend that it has more story than it does. It's as if the showrunner sat down and said, what if we made an anime and just removed all of the homework? And honestly, fucking revolutionary. I mean, all killer, no filler, baby. No Naruto swing set for 4 fucking episodes, while the soundtrack tries to convince you that something's happening. It's not sloppy, it's not rushed, it's very much intentional. Demon Slayer is made with the confidence of an artist who knows they don't need 12 drafts. It's all forward momentum. The story is always leaning, always pushing, always accelerating. There's barely time to breathe because the characters never get time to breathe. Even the villains act like they know the runtime is limited. Every demon gets one dramatic monologue max, one childhood flashback, and one moment where Tanjiro looks at them like he's about to adopt them post-mortem. Then boom, head gone, onto the next episode. Onto the next episode. It's tight, it's clean, and it respects your time in a way that most anime absolutely does not. You can binge the entire series in a weekend and still have the emotional bandwidth to go to the gym or meal prep or whatever people do on TikTok to act like they do self-care. Demon Slayer lets you have your life back, and that's rare. But the speed does sacrifice something too. There are moments where you wish the emotional beats just marinated just a little bit longer. Maybe you want the character dynamics just fleshed out just a teeny bit more. You want a detail explained or an arc stretch just to really live in it, you know? But Demon Slayer chooses impact over depth. A bold choice that pays off visually, but occasionally leaves you wanting more room narratively. And you know what? Maybe that's fine. Maybe not everything needs 20 episodes of trauma flashbacks to justify a transformation. But as a creator myself, and of course I gotta throw in my 2 cents on this because I like to make comics and make up my own stories and stuff, this this just hits me differently. Because there's this fear we all have when making something. The fear of going too fast or not explaining enough, not dwelling long enough on the emotional beats, not expanding the world fully. We've all heard less is more, but I don't know, we've also been taught that more is better, you know? More lore, more chapters, more runtime. But watching Demon Slayer made me realize something that I've always known, but I've just never actually verbalized. A fast story that hits the beats you want is way better than a long story that drags its feet. I would rather make a fast, intentional story that hits the beats I want than a long, dragged out story that loses itself before it even gets where it's going. From a creator standpoint, Demon Slayer is kind of inspiring. It's concise, it's decisive, it doesn't drown itself in lore. It isn't padded with side quests that I'll forget. It's focused, it's passionate, and it's paced like it respects the viewer's time. And I mean, like, the older I get, the more I appreciate that. Yeah, give me the version where I actually finish the story. Or give me the version where every moment is the exact one I choose. I would genuinely rather release something that's too short but full of intention than something bloated and unfocused that never reaches its own potential. And maybe that's what Demon Slayer is secretly about. Momentum. Creative momentum, emotional momentum, visual momentum. Momentum. This anime moves the way the artists wish their projects moved. No spiraling, no stalling, no procrastinating. Demon Slayer feels like the final form of just do it. Like, Nike could sue. So final thoughts, is Demon Slayer too short? Maybe, but is it worse for it? Absolutely not. It feels like a piece of art that refuses to drown in its own ideas. It knows exactly which moments matter and slices everything else away. Yeah, okay, pun absolutely intended. And yeah, I mean, sometimes I wish that some scenes had a little more breathing room. Sometimes I wish certain characters got expanded. Sometimes I blink and miss an emotional beat. And maybe I didn't get enough time to form a parasocial relationship with every demon whose entire personality was, I was sad once. But I mean, fuck it. I'll take a sharp, beautifully animated sprint over an 800 episode content treadmill any day. The fast pacing is both Demon Slayer's superpower and flaw. It gives the anime insane replayability, insane binge energy, insane visual payoff, but it sacrifices some emotional depth and world building in the process. And that's okay. Anyways, that's me ranting about anime pacing on the internet like it's a personality trait. If you agree with everything I said, really cool of you. If you prefer a 700 episode onboarding process, I don't fucking know, fight me in the comments. Demon Slayer has already moved on from this, and so will I.